All right, so 18 minutes before the top of the hour, the South African Human Rights Commission and the Office of the Public Protector met yesterday to continue their inquiry into the socio-economic conditions of people living in Alexandra township in Johannesburg. The SAHRC launched the probe following violent service delivery protests in Alex earlier this year, during which residents highlighted the lack of basic services in the area. Last week, at least 80 illegal structures were demolished in Alexandra by the Red Ants. The SAHRC has described the demolition as inhumane. However, since the probe was launched, the Gauteng Human Rights Commission manager, which is also chairing the probe, has been receiving death threats. He joins us now in studio. Buang Jones, he is the Gauteng Human Rights Commission's manager. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So these death threats that you've been receiving, you say that this has been happening for a couple of weeks now.
Yes, and we have reported this to our bosses, the commissioners of the Human Rights Commission, and action is being taken to address it. But our focus is on the inquiry. You know, we don't want some of these things to divert us from the important task of getting to the bottom of what happened concerning the Alex Renewal project and the resultant deplorable and degrading socio-economic conditions in Alex.
We certainly don't want to veer away from the Commission at all. We want to talk about it and focus on it, but it's very worrying that you are receiving these death threats, because this leads one to believe that you're opening up a can of worms that perhaps doesn't want to be opened up, and that maybe there are going to be revelations that certain people do not want to come out. Do you have any idea who these death threats are coming from?
Well, I don't know who are these people. I was warned prior to the start of this process that I'm risking my career and my life, and I've chosen the risk of death instead of life and security. I've chosen moral duty instead of self-interest, and I'm in this to ensure that we assist government and the people of Alex in finding a permanent solution.
Yeah, which is very noble of you, and it's a great cause, and I think that people commend you for doing this. But at the end of the day, if you are getting death threats and your life is in danger right now, do you have protection? Has this been reported? Who is looking into these death threats?
Well, I don't have protection, but the people of South Africa are protecting me. I was in Alex on Friday, Saturday. I was in Pretoria to meet with the Marais family, and the people said, we will protect you because you are acting, for the voiceless. You are defending and promoting the rights of South Africans. So I'm encouraged by the words of support from the people of South Africa.
The police are investigating these threats?
I'm not aware, but the National Commissioner of Police is appearing before the inquiry at 10 this morning, and we will hear from them if they will provide support to the inquiry.
Okay. All right. All right, we won't focus on it too much more, because I can see that you don't want the attention diverted away from the inquiry that's happening currently, but we do need you to be safe. That's very, very important. What happened yesterday was that you convened with the Office of the Public Protector about the investigation into the lack of basic services in Alexandra. What came out of the meeting, and how far is this investigation?
Well, we reconvened yesterday. This is our third sitting of the inquiry, which started on the 18th of April. Yesterday, we received oral submissions from the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, and the chairperson of the interministerial task team on Alexandra, the new minister of Kokta, was not able to come, and we have said we will accommodate her on Thursday when we hear the testimony of the leader of the EFF, Mr. Julius Malema, and the head of forensics unit, General Shadrach Sipia, on allegations of corruption concerning the Alex Renewal project.
Yeah. Any further information coming to light with what happened at this Alex Renewal project of 2011? Because, this is almost at the heart of this entire inquiry.
Yes, the Commission is focusing on the human rights aspects. We are dealing with the manifestations of alleged corruption and maladministration. We are receiving written submissions from people who have information which will aid this process. And eventually when we make a final determination as to whether there were human rights violations and as to whether there was maladministration or improper conduct. So we are still receiving submissions from people who have information, and we will still welcome further submissions. And after this process, we will also conduct a full forensic probe, and to also follow the money.
Yeah, because following the money trail, has that been done yet? Have you looked into this issue as yet?
No, we've not started. We are going to invite the Office of the Auditor General just to take us through, because they audited this entire program, just to take us through the entire process, after which we will then have to subpoena some of the documents which may assist us in making a determination as to whether there is credence to allegations of corruption, malfeasance and improper conduct, and the resultant impact on fundamental rights.
Yeah. You say that the police commissioner is going to be appearing this morning. I hear as well that Pindile Baleni, a general manager in Premier David Makura's office, is finally going to be appearing. She has meant to come twice, but she hasn't appeared, and I think one of the reasons was that she'd had a death in her family, but this morning she will be there.
Yes, this morning she will be appearing before the inquiry. We had in the past extended an invitation to her, and we had not, to date, we struggled to receive any form of cooperation, but eventually, after writing a letter to the Premier, we received an undertaking from the Premier that the Premier will cooperate with the Commission's investigations, and she will be appearing before us this morning.
You know, it's quite ironic that as the Commission sits, we see an event unfold, as we did last week, where 80 shacks were demolished, the illegal structures demolished by the Red Ants. Nobody's taking accountability for this. Nobody wants to take the blame, and everybody's blaming everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, it's still happening, even though there's a commission happening. What do you make of this event that happened last week?
Well, we, through our soft powers, were able to, behind the scenes, engage with the city of Johannesburg. Last night I applauded the mayor for providing leadership and attending to the needs of the people of Stratla or Silverton, because we had raised concerns previously about the manner in which evictions are executed, which usually violates the rights of evicted people. Municipalities, more often than not, do not observe procedural requirements that are set out by courts. There has to be meaningful engagement before you execute an eviction. There has to be provision of alternative accommodation. There also has to be a detailed assessment of the people who will be affected by the eviction. So in this instance, there was no demographic profile or assessment conducted, and we hope that all the three branches of government will draw lessons from this incident and will foster community engagement in the future when they want to embark on evictions.
An important question to ask, and I think everybody in the back of their mind keeps questioning this. Buang, why now? Why is the SAHRC going into Alexandra and having a look at the conditions, the socio-economic conditions, the inhumane conditions that people are living in, when this has been going on for years and years and years? There's nothing new in this. Yeah. Why now?
Well, we have been working with the people of Alexandra before. I'm the successor in title, and I take full responsibility. But what we've done is we've identified Alex as an ideal setting for this sixth administration to start a pilot project on urban renewal that can be replicated across the country. And we hope that this will be a legacy project of this administration. And we obviously could have done better as the Human Rights Commission in the past, but we are more proactive now, we are more responsive, we are more agile, and we want to assist our people.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about assisting people, I know that the DA has gone ahead and filed a complaint with the SAHRC to probe the Bembe district municipality for failure to provide clean drinking water. And this, they say, has been happening over the past 5 years. What's going to happen there? Will it get the same attention?
Yes, earlier this morning I spoke to the provincial manager, Mr. Victor Mabidula in Limpopo. The matter is receiving attention and will be attended to. We are also going to look into the Guyani water project, as there are a myriad of issues that were raised by stakeholders, and it's something that is going to receive the attention of the Commission going forward.
Just to wrap this section up, you say on Thursday it's going to be a very telling day at the Commission. Talk to us about Thursday. What's set to happen?
Thursday we expect the leader of the EFF to appear before the Commission. He has made a number of pronouncements on the Alex Renewal Project. He's also made a number of pronouncements concerning land occupation. And in the last sitting, the former MEC for Human Settlements in Gauteng implicated the leader of the EFF, and we have a duty to act fairly. That is why we've invited him to either confirm or rebut the allegations that were made against him. We are also expecting the testimony of General Shadrach Sibia, who is the head of forensic investigations at the City of Johannesburg. The City of Johannesburg has initiated its own forensic investigations into the Alexandra Renewal Project, and the information they have gleaned from the investigation will be helpful to this inquiry. Finally,
Martha Marais, this is the patient that was tied at the hospital, that's the Mamelodi State Hospital, to a bench. You are looking into this. You're trying to find compensation. You've taken up this case. Talk to us a little bit about developments on this.
Yes, we met with the family on Sunday. We obtained instructions to secure appropriate redress for Mrs. Martha Marais. I spoke to her, and she wants compensation. She wants her dignity to be restored. We are going to engage with the Department of Health. The MEC has already indicated that they are willing to enter into a negotiated settlement, and it's something that we are looking into as we are permitted by our own act to secure redress through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms such as negotiation, conciliation, and mediation.
Any idea on amount as yet? Is that still being discussed?
That will be part of the discussion.
So we don't know an amount right now that she would like to be compensated? Nothing as yet?
Yeah.
All right, Buang, thank you for coming in. Thanks for talking to us. Please take care of yourself. Keep up this good work. Buang Jones is the Gauteng Human Rights Commission's manager, talking to us about the SAHRC's meeting with the Office of the Public Protector about the dire socio-economic conditions in Alexandra Township. That commission continues, and as you heard, on Thursday, EFF leader Julius Malema expected to appear, and that should be very interesting, with some names being spoken to as well. We take a break. We've got one more thing for you after this, don't